move across the globe to the continent of North America. About today, we are very delightful to have Dr. Michael Chung, who is the managing director of Tzuchi's clinics, as well as a registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, to share with us on how does the TMAS in Canada in providing the medical treatments for the indigenous Canadian tribes. Over to you, brother, Dr. Chung.
Oh, so we should start right now and there's no break in between?
Yeah, we'll proceed with that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No problem at all. Thanks everyone, dear all the brothers and sisters and everyone in online. And I'm actually Michael Chung. I'm actually in Canada right now. I'm in Vancouver. So in my time zone now is around 1:30 a.m. So it looks like it's your afternoon. So I would like to thank the inviters that allow me to have this opportunity to share with you about how we have done in the last 10 years to develop Tzuchi's medical missions in Canada. And our journey has been very different from other countries, and I would like to share with you right now. So let me put on my screen. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I would assume so. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Thank you. So I would like to share with you about the footprints of Tzuchi medical missions in Canada. Um, so everything actually starts from a visit to the masters back in 2011, the August, and it has been more than 10 years now. Talk about the medical missions in Canada. We start to have the Tzuchi Foundation in Canada starting by 1992. In the first few years, we established a Tzuchi Institute of Complementary Medicine together with UBC and many other hospitals. It was a project for 5 years focused on research and not focused on clinical care. So after 2003, we park this project and wait for the next opportunity. Since 2011, we move into the second phase, and we have worked very hard and with so many supporters and new doctors. That's how we have a very fruitful 10 years. And when we started in 2011, we were so overwhelmed actually in the very beginning about how to start when there's no mature team existed and there's no venue and no plan. So we thought of, okay, we'll start by providing medical services, just like the master did, in 40 years ago. There was a chance came in that every long weekend of Labor Day, which is around the end of August, we have a Taiwan Fest, which will be held in the downtown Vancouver. And we work with them and start to provide Chinese medicine services free in Vancouver downtown. And you can see we have all the tents set up outside, and we have a lot of people who are so interested and lined up to get in to see our practitioners. And all our practitioners were all the doctors' practices here. We invite around 108 doctors each year to work in 3 different days to see around 1,000 patients. And every year, we're getting more and more patients who are willing to come in. Here's a little statistics to show you. In the first year, we attracted 680 patients who walk by and want to pop in. And then every year, we have more and more. And by the end of 6 years, we have seen more than 5,500 patients. In the next year, then we thought, okay, then what's next? Since we have quite a few doctors who were interested to work with us. So we took the chance to launch the TMA Canada. Because before 2011, we didn't have the TMA in Canada. But after 2012, we established the team to focus on the traditional Chinese medicine. And since then, we have more than 250 doctors have been invited to join us. And 9 of them eventually became our certified commissioners. And still, we're getting more and more people. And we have already conducted more than 400 services events and provided more than 10,000 treatment sessions up to date. And we also invite them to provide public seminars to the to Vancouver people to understand more about Chinese medicine, and we're still doing it now till today. We also provide a ceremony to those doctors who have joined us diligently and attended our events all the time. So they will be given this uniform. And we have West Canada, we also have East Canada. In the next year, 2013, we started to launch the TCM Symposium every year. Since then, we've launched 2013 for the first one, and 2014, 15, 16, and 17. In 2018, we were grateful that we had two symposiums done in the same year, because one is for the West Coast and the other one is for the East Coast in Toronto, not just Vancouver. And this picture is taken inside the Humber College. And the reason we actually had our annual symposium held in Humber in Toronto is because we established a new 2G TCM clinic, a teaching clinic that focused on clinical trainings and research in Humber College. And we have a collection of papers every year. And the next year, 2014, then we start to be ready to move into the First Nations care. Everything starts from a very little, connections that we had the chance to get into an Aboriginal Mother Center in Vancouver East. It is a place that hosts 14 rooms that for those single moms that they suddenly get pregnant and they don't know what to do. So this place can host them until their baby is born, and also they had the chance to learn how to take care of the baby and get ready to go back to their life. But they do need to have lots of services or medical care, which is hard for them. And then we start to expand it to the First Nations communities. So we start from a community called Sumas, which is about 1 hour from Vancouver. And then we move on to different communities. We went to Laquamel, which is about 1.5 hours. We also look into different communities. You can see all these totems or logos that shows every individual communities we have visited and serviced them. Some of them we eventually establish a regular service spot, which means we will send our practitioners over and provide the service on a monthly or bi-weekly basis. And in 2015, we started to bring Chinese medicine inside the hospital in Canada. Because in Canada's, in the Western hospitals, there's no services of Chinese medicine. It's different from Taiwan or China. But that was a pilot project that we try to work with the hospital, and we have a TCM doctor there to see patients. It actually lasted about 13 months as a pilot project, and it was quite well accepted. And we see the sparks. So this is the hospital, the Burnaby hospitals that we're together with. Because of this foundation, then we were able to work with more hospitals one by one eventually. And in 2016, we were lucky that we had a school in Vancouver, which is a private school. They train TCM program students, was decided to donate it to Tsuchi Foundation. It is one of the largest Chinese medicine college that accepts international students, and their owners is retiring. And instead of selling the school, they decided to donate it to the Tsuji because they believe Tsuji will be able to take care of the school and take it to the next level. In the same year, we also had the chance to work with our BC health authorities to provide the services in hospices based on the foundation pilot projects that we've done in 2015. This is the Revon Song Center, which is a 4-story building with many patients. And we also launched a research project about how can we sustain the Chinese medicine care for First Nations. So we were actually invited by the Simon Fraser University. We also worked with the First Nation Health Authority and a band called Snani Maha. There are a First Nation band in Vancouver Island. So 4 of us decided to work together to do a 2 years research project to see if Chinese medicine services could really fit the need of the First Nation, and also if they enjoyed it and if they got benefit from it. So they might consider to formally enroll it into their regular services. So this is the Nani Mahal, is where we had the center launched and services launched. And in the same year, in 2018, we also add another clinic, which is a monthly based regular services clinic called Seabird Island. It's also 2 hours from Vancouver, and it's a very well established clinic already before even we joined them. It's accredited by Health Canada, a very high end medical center. And this is it looks like from outside. Our TCM doctors who work there was very well accepted and welcomed by the people who come there for the services. In the same year, another amazing opportunity came in is a university, which is a public school in Toronto, was granted the chance by the government to establish the first ever traditional Chinese medicine program inside the public universities in Canada. So before them, all the TCM programs were held in private schools. But in 2018, that we had a program, which is a 3-year program, that people can go in there and study Chinese medicine and become a certified and licensed traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And they need a clinical center that can train the internships. So they invited Suji to work with them. And we were grateful that we were able to set up the clinic inside their campus. Here I had a few short videos that would let you have more vivid eyes on how this clinic looks like. So this is a collaboration project, and the mission of this clinic is for clinical services, clinical trainings, and research. So this is a film that was done by Jason Powell, who is the Dean of the Faculty of the Health Sciences and Wellness. And when he came to one of our year-end event that he introduces to the public and thanked Suji Foundation for the support and the collaboration. So here, let me play the film to all of you.
We are so proud that last year, the Ontario government, in collaboration with the Tzu-Chi, the government has implemented the first publicly funded comprehensive traditional Chinese medicine practitioner at Humber College, where learners will be able to continue the cultural tradition and practice of traditional Chinese medicine here in Ontario, where learners will be able to access and perform acupuncture all the way up to and including herbal therapy to, again, provide Ontarians with high quality access to more than just Western medicine here in Ontario. None of that would be possible without the Tzu-Chi. None of that would be possible without the brothers and sisters who have helped continue to be the wind beneath our wings as we move towards this pioneered and uncharted waters. I couldn't be more thankful to have a partner that's committed to implementing a traditional Chinese medicine clinic at Humber College so that we can have our students be able to implement their craft, so that our volunteers through the Tzu-Chi can bring people who want access to comprehensive traditional Chinese medicine care into a center where the research will show that it's a valuable option in Ontario for acupuncture and herbal therapy, where the amazing students will be able to continue on the cultural practice of traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay, so this is a shortcut about what Jason says in our ceremony.
We are so proud.
And here's another one, which actually shows a 1-minute film that records how we built this clinic. It starts from very scratch. This is how it looks like eventually when it was finished. This is a waiting area. And this is all the treatment room for diagnosis. And this is treatment room. And this is the old skill room and a meeting room. And this is our dispensary of the pharmacy inside the clinic. All the herbs used were extracted from GMP manufacturings. So everything starts from 2017. The deans of the Humber College and vice president visited Tzu-Chi in Hualien, and they visited the master and presented the request to have Tzu-Chi's support. Tzu-Chi not only set up the clinic, but also provide students scholarships. And this is students who receive our scholarships for their to continue their study. And in 2018 May, we started to talk to their engineer team. We tore down the whole offices. We had to dig out the floor because we need to bury a lot of piping. Because every individual treatment room needs to have their own piping and sink. And this is showing some before and after. And we also have our own laundry rooms that can do the sterilizations and washing all the use of beddings. This is when we were setting up the dispensary. And this is when we put our name on the wall. Okay, and then this is a film that Humber made when the clinic is 1 year old. So we made this film and bring it back to Hualien and present it to the master to see what this clinic has been serviced and functioned in the first year. Well, this clinic, which is located in Humber's North Campus, is an extension of Tsuchi's medical care network in Canada, focused on traditional Chinese medicine. This is the first time we're collaborating with a public college to establish a clinic. And that is not only focused on providing clinical care, but also more importantly, is to provide opportunities for students and also to provide a base for doing clinical studies in the future.
The space is really remarkable in that it provides students with high quality access to patients in the real environments that they'll practice in when they become practitioners. And so it's really essential for us to have work integrated learning spaces that are accessible to students, that are of high quality, that are substantial in terms of meeting their learning outcomes, and substantial in providing a service to patients in a real living laboratory.
Hamburg College want to have better students. So we think we have the same goal to benefit students, benefit community. With this goal that we work well, the ground is very strong.
Getting to use the traditional Chinese medicine clinic here on campus has been an amazing experience. It helps us get practice in treating patients and making our diagnosis, and knowing that we are supported by the entire team. Having the clinic on campus provides us with a lot of support. We have a herbal dispensary, our acupuncture needles, our cupping tools, everything that we need is here. So I find that is very important as a studying student to have everything accessible and available for your use.
In this clinic, I think the teacher and the student will experience the culture of Tzu Chi. We treat patient, we treat everyone with respect.
So this is the wall finished a year later with all the donors and supporters on their names on the wall.
捐款在这边的话是非常有意义的，而且
To me, it means everything to us.
So I would like to, since the time is not that much, I could actually take time to introduce another thing that we did when we had the 1 year anniversary. We decided to work with the school to provide an appreciation vegetarian dinner. Instead of having our own Tsuji, chef and brother sisters who to prepare the dinner, we actually work with Humber's culinary department because they have a program that teaches students to baking and cooking. So we work with their departments and we actually formed this event to thank all the donors. We did some testing before the event. We have to decide the menu. So we actually introduced them what Tsuji is doing, and also their chef and the professors were very interested to learn how we are doing the vegetarian meal. And they also came out of their own design, think about what a vegetarian meal could be. So this is a kind of pilot testing before the menu testing before it's confirmed. So we have, some Chinese versions, we have their Western versions. It was very interesting to see the sparks. And finally, we decided what are the menus, and we made it. All the meals were serviced by all our practitioners and doctors, and we introduced them what this is. It was a very interesting and meaningful event. And this is a website. We have a bilingual website of the clinic. And this is where we have students or interns or practitioners. And this is all volunteers when we have some events here and in front of the school's building. So through the 10 years, it's very hard to introduce what we have done in such a short time. However, I quickly, walk you through what we have done. We start from, the medical services on the downtown. We launch a TEMA. Then when we have a lot of doctors are willing to work with us, then we launch international symposium. Then we get more connections. Then we start to work with First Nation. Then we bring it to TSM hospitals. Then we accept a TSM college donations. And then we actually establish a clinic inside universities for training and education purposes. So all this individually all looks like very impossible dreams to us until, we actually always think about this sentence. It says it always seems impossible until it is done. And we are very grateful for everyone who have supported us and also allow us to have the chance to develop what we are trying to promote in the medical missions with the spirit of Tzu Chi. So thanks everyone for the time, and thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to share this with you. And I hope I did actually manage the time very, fitting the schedule. Yeah, and I hope it was not too fast. But if there's any questions or any interest to know more, I'll be very glad to provide more details in the future.